Welcome to the TNT Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, TNTomlinson, and today we have a very special guest here with us. He is the former WBC light heavyweight champion of the world. His record as a pro is 58-1 with 30 wins by knockout. He fought legends like James Toney, Antonio Tarver, and Roy Jones Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, Montell Griffin. So, let's go back to the beginning of your boxing career. Your father owned the Windy City Boxing Gym. How did having a dad who was so involved in the fight game help you find your way into a career of professional boxing?
I was awesome because we had my own gym. I was in the gym every day, and you know what I'm saying, I was around all the great fighters, and it was a great situation.
So who are some of the fighters you watched and admired growing up?
Well, of course, you know, the great Muhammad Ali trained at my father's gym back in the 70s. Joe Frazier trained there. Leroy Murphy, Alonzo Johnson, Ronaldo Snipes, a lot of great fighters.
Yeah, a lot of legends in the sport of boxing, a lot of big names, which can really get you a lot of experience. How did you get your nickname Ice?
It's kind of crazy because I didn't have a nickname when I was good turned pro. When I got home from Barcelona, my friend kept calling me Ice. So my friend Brian Cooper kept calling me Ice. So it stuck. So when I turned pro, I just told him my nickname was Ice, and it stuck.
Great nickname. And also, so you said Muhammad Ali trained at your father's gym. Could you tell us a bit about your relationship and some of your fondest memories with him?
Well, my father bought the gym. He bought the gym in '71, switched it over to Windy City Boxing Club. Muhammad Ali was training there already at Coulon's gym. So him and my father became friends, and we started coming to the gym. And he would always invite us to his house afterwards, so we'd hang out with him afterwards. So that was cool.
Not a lot of people can say they grew up hanging around legends like Muhammad Ali. It must have been a great experience for you and really helped you, I guess, learn the sport from your early on in your career.
It was a great experience being around Muhammad Ali on a daily basis.
Yeah. So you gave up boxing at 12, but you came back at 20. Why did you decide to return to the sport, and how much of a struggle was it to shake off the rust from your years away in the ring?
I wanted to do something with my life. Things weren't going right with my life. I was 20 years old, so I took a chance to come back to boxing, and it was kind of crazy. I was just had to get my weight. I was like 210 pounds, so I just had to get my weight down. Once I got my weight down, then my skills and everything just came. Like I was doing stuff that I don't even remember learning how to do. I don't remember learning how to box. I was a kid, so I don't remember learning how to box. So a lot of things I was just doing was just memory, muscle memory.
Instincts. You've developed good boxing instincts when you were young, so it carried through when you were later in your life. Could you tell us a bit about your journey of getting onto the Olympic team?
Making an Olympic team still to this day is my greatest achievement in boxing. Even though I turned pro and did a lot of good things, making an Olympic team was the greatest experience because I was off for 8 years. I came back a year and a half before the Olympics, and I made the team with only 30 amateur fights. So it was big. It was big to me.
Yeah. Like a lot of fighters are very passionate about the Olympics, and like some fighters still hold their medals or even their experience in the Olympics over world championships, and just representing your country is a very
Well, you know what? But you know what? One thing I've noticed over the years, people respect Olympians more than Like I could tell somebody I'm an Olympian and a former world champion, and all they ask me about is Olympian. They don't care about. They don't really care about the pros. So everybody can understand Olympics because they watched it their whole life. So it's a big thing making an Olympic team to me.
Yeah, and also like less people are even like compete in the Olympics because now with like 4 world championship belts, because now with 4 world championship belts, it's a lot harder. Like it's also like a lot harder to make the Olympics probably than even winning a world title because there's 4 world titles now and like I believe 18 weight divisions and there's of course less weight divisions in the Olympics and even getting there has probably been harder than winning a world championship.
Yeah. The Olympics is hard because there's so much politics involved. There's so much politics and BS involved. I went through it. A lot of other guys went through it. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things. You just gotta be fortunate. I had problems making a team. I had to sue the U.S. Olympic Committee. Then when I went to Barcelona, I got cheated against the world champion, Torsten Mine. So I just couldn't get away. I tried my best, but I just couldn't get away.
Yeah. And speaking about your fights with Torsten May, could you tell us a bit about the fight and the robbery that took place?
Well, he was 6'5". I'm 5'7". I out jabbed him. I outlanded him. I hit him with the biggest shots. I cut it out open. He was bleeding like a pig. They wouldn't stop the fight, and I ended up losing. They took 3 points from me with 45 seconds left, saying my head was too low, which I'm 5'7". So when I got in the ring, my head was too low. So
yeah,
it's just like I said, it's a lot of politics in BS.
Yeah. And like a lot of fighters got screwed over the Olympics over like the last few years. Like some names that come to mind, like Roy Jones Jr. Especially is one of them. He was in the Olympics before yourself, and like I mean, yeah, like the Olympics are probably one of the greatest competition. Just it's a lot of controversy with like judges and everything like that.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of politics. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like if you got to the decision, do you think you would have won gold?
Yeah, without a doubt. That was the quarterfinals. I think the Yugoslavian was next. I can't remember, but I was in the zone. For that year and a half, I made up my mind I was going to do something, and I did it. I'd have won gold. I beat the silver medalist a month before the Olympics, and one of the worst amateur fights I ever fought in my life. So I know I would have been okay. I know I would have won a gold medal.
Yes. And speaking of one of your trainers during your career, Eddie Futch, like how did Futch become your trainer, and what was it like working with such a legendary, great mind in boxing?
Well, when I first turned pro, I was working with Didi Armour, who worked with Alfonso Ratliff when he won the world title. So I was working with him, but he was getting old and slowing down. And he was only like in his 70s. I ended up started training with an 84-year-old trainer. I left Didi Armour because he was getting older, and I ended up training with an 84-year-old guy, 84. So it was a great experience. He had a lot of great fighters, and a lot of great fighters, a great resume, and I was just happy to work with him.
Yes. And speaking about early in your career, could you tell us a bit about your problems with like attracting promoters or networks?
Well, after my first fight with Tony, I only had 14 pro fights. No, I didn't get a TV fight. I didn't get offered no deals or nothing. But we ended up fighting them. We fought a year later, but it was almost like 2 years because I fought him in January. I think I fought him in February of '95 and December '96. It was almost like 2 years. So I ended up signing with a promoter then, but the promoter ended up robbing me blind. So it didn't end up being worth it in the first place.
Yeah, that's crazy. You didn't get on like any like networks after your win against Tony. Like he was like a pound for pound fighter at that time.
Not one TV fight. I didn't get off of one TV fight. I think I did. I got off of one TV fight and I got sick. But besides that, that was the only thing. I never fought on TV. That was a big deal. Everybody said it was a fluke and everything, so it was just crazy, man.
Yeah, like
so I went through a lot of this.
that's crazy. Like nowadays, there's like fighters with like who've had like a few amateur fights and they're fighting on TV, turning pro. Like it's a lot more opportunities, I guess, nowadays for fighters. So compared to back when you were
Well,
fighting.
it just depends. It just depends. No, it just depends how famous you are, how many tickets you sell, who's behind you. It's all about business. At the time, nobody really took me serious, so nobody really got behind me. I had to be James Toney again before I signed my first promotional contract.
And you came from the Olympics too. Like I mean, nowadays, like a lot of promoters are scooping up Olympians, so it's crazy that like you weren't signed for
Yeah,
like big
yeah, but
contracts.
not all Olympians. Out of 12 Olympians, there usually be like 3, 4 guys that make noise. At that time, I wasn't picked to do anything, so nobody really was behind. I just had to prove myself. I think because of my background, I didn't have many amateur fights. Nobody knew who I was. I don't know if they took me serious or not. So I just had to keep winning and prove it for them.
Yeah, that makes sense because like I remember hearing about like how Chris Bird didn't get that much attention when he turned pro as well. He was another great
Right. Chris Bird, he moved up to heavyweight. He moved up to heavyweight because he just wasn't getting no attention at 165 and won the world title. So that was great for him. He's a great friend of mine, and you know what I'm saying. I'm proud of him to come from the middleweight to a world champion, heavyweight champion. That was awesome.
That's
I
crazy.
was at the fight too. We fought Holyfield, yeah.
That's like something of old, you know what I mean? Like back like in the early 20th century. That's something like you'd think you'd hear about back then, but now it's like but he did that like back in like the 2000s and like
Yeah,
obviously
no,
another
92.
great fighter.
90 after 92, he moved up to heavyweight. So
Oh
that
yeah.
was awesome. And he beat David Tua and he beat Evander Holyfield and he beat Vitaly Klitschko, which was huge.
Legends like Fatali was like of course like Fatali and Evander are both Hall of Famers and very very impressive victories. But speaking about
Chris Bird deserved
oh,
to be a Hall of Famer also.
yeah. I think so as well. Like the Holyfield and Klitschko, both Hall of Famers. Like being two Hall of Famers should probably get you in the Hall of Fame.
And David Tua. David Tua was one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world.
Of course, like I mean, when I think of like the great heavyweights from like the 2000s, like Tua is definitely one of the guys on the list.
He's
But
very dangerous.
Yeah. But speaking about one of your fights with speaking of your fight with James Toney, what was it like fighting him, and what were some differences between your first and second fights in terms of preparation and the fights themselves?
I sparred James Toney in 1992 at the Olympics. He was supposed to be my manager, and he's my favorite fighter. So I was glad I got a chance to spend some time with him. But so when they offered the fight in '95, I took it because I did pretty good sparring him. So I took the fight. But he was one of my favorite fighters, and he's all time great.
Yeah. And about like, what would you say would you say there were any big differences between your first and second fights with him in terms of your preparation and the fights themselves?
Well, my second fight, I had more experience. I felt more comfortable, more confident. You know, after the first fight, I knew I could do it. So the second fight, I put it together and I beat him easier than I did the first fight.
Yeah. We see great improvements after like you first get experience. So, yeah. And about your like, how do you prepare for someone like Roy Jones, the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world at that time? And it was a fight, of course, for the world title.
Just confidence. Reggie Johnson, James Coney, James Heat Kitchen. So I just felt like, man, I'm ready. So he's he's one of the most skilled fighters in history. I asked him who's the most skilled. He said Ali, and I said why. He said because Ali didn't throw body shots, but they're the two most God-gifted skilled fighters in history.
Yeah. And what was the experience like fighting him?
It was a great experience. I was in Atlantic City. My father passed away in Atlantic City, so I promised I was gonna win a world title because he passed away there, and I did. And it was cool. It was just, all my friends came out and supported me, so it was a great experience.
Yeah. Would you say that was a better experience than when you made the Olympic team, or like how would you compare those experiences?
I mean, when I beat James Coney and Roy Jones, it was a big in my career for my resume, but don't nothing compare to make the Olympic team.
Yeah. And could you describe the events leading up to Roy getting disqualified?
Yeah, well, it was the ninth round. I was getting ready to catch my second win. I was feeling good. He threw a right hand, and in a split second, I had to make up my mind either roll with it or block it. And I tried to roll with it. He ended up hitting me in the back of the head, and I got a little dizzy. So I just told myself, man, you winning this fight. Just take a knee, and let's win the last 3 rounds. I thought I was winning the fight, so I took a knee, and when I looked up to catch the referee's count, he hit me. So it was just something I never thought would ever happen in my life.
Yeah, like I mean, I was shocked even when watching that back. It was a very good fight. I scored it for you, and then he hit you twice when you were down, and there's not much you can like do about that.
Yeah.
And of course you probably believe
right,
that
right. He didn't knock me down. So
yeah.
He didn't knock me down. I took a knee, so that was crazy. So I didn't expect nothing like that to happen.
Yeah. And like I mean, if that fight probably continued, I assume you'd like continue what you were doing, continue your style, and probably end up with the victory.
You said what?
I think if that fight continued, if that fight continued, you'd continue.
I thought. Well, the way the scorecards was with the knockdown, if I took a knee in that ninth round, it would have been hard. But you know what I'm saying? Life ain't fair. Just the same thing as the Olympics. I thought I was winning the fight, and I wasn't. Everybody who saw the fight thought I was winning the fight, but I wasn't. So it's just boxing. And it's something, you got to deal with.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that window? Because like on one hand you won the world title, but on the other hand, probably not the way you imagined it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story. After the fight, I drove back to the hotel with my wife in a limo, and I told her, like, man, I did not want to win like this. I was not happy about it at all. And I went to the WA convention the next day. The WA convention was going on in Atlantic City. I went the next day, and all the fighters told me, like, man, keep your head up. They're like, you won that fight. Like, he did that for a reason. So after that, then I felt better about it. But I never felt that good about it because I was beating them fans well.
Yeah, but if you're getting if champions are supporting it and supporting you, then I guess that that victory probably it sort of feels a bit redeemed in a way. Sort of, it feels like you did it the right way because you were, like I said, you were winning the fight, and there was not much you could do in that situation after being hit twice when you were down.
Yeah. It was just a crazy situation. I told Roy Jones, I said, it's crazy. I said, your fans love you so much that they hate me because you hit me when I took a knee. So that's just crazy. All he can do is laugh about it.
Yeah. And so after the fight, you and Futch split. Why did you guys decide to split?
Mr. Futch, man, Mr. Futch is a great trainer, great person. But he was very busy. A lot, you know what I'm saying? He had Riddick Bowe, he had Mike McCallum, he had Wayne McCullough. And so Phil Torrance spent a lot of time with me. They told him to spend a little bit more time with me for 80 bucks. So I beat Roy Jones. He said he wanted a raise. And I said, Mr. Putz, I said, man, you don't even work with me that much. I said, so why would you want to raise? I'm like, so I love working with you. Everything is cool. Like, why you want to change it now? And he said he felt like he was deserving the money. So at the time, maybe I made a mistake. But at that time, I let him walk, and it is what it is.
So after like in the rematch against Jones, you got knocked out in the first round. What was different about that fight compared to the first fight?
I don't know. I don't have to make no excuses. It is what it is. There's witnesses, there's people there. I did not warm up 5 minutes for that fight. You know what I'm saying? If you watch the fight, when we get off to the air, watch the fight and listen to the commentators say Roy Jones has never started this fast in his career. Listen to them say that. I did not warm up. It is what it is. I got in the ring, but I got to live with it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I watched the fight. I did notice it seemed like he was definitely warming up probably before the fight. You could tell, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, man, boxing, life ain't fair. Boxing's a dirty game. It is what it's the past, man. It's 26 years ago, man. It is what it is, bro. And can't cry about spilled milk. It was the biggest fight of my life, and I wasn't allowed to warm up, and it just killed me.
So when after that fight, your next world title challenge was against Darius Michalczewski. How were you treated by the fans and media when you traveled to Germany for that fight?
Everything was cool. I went over to Bremen, Germany. I had fun. It was beautiful. They treated me with respect. I knew something was up when my promoter came in my room before the fight, had me sign a contract, and didn't want me to read it. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I can't read it. Oh, you don't trust me? And I'm like, shit, nah, I don't trust you. Nah, you want me to sign a contract without reading it? But that was kind of crazy. And I get into the fight. I started fast because I knew I was in Germany. I actually really trying to get him out of there because I knew I was going to get the decision fight on all 3 scorecards. He threw a combination after the bell, and Joe Cortez stopped the fight for no reason. If you go back and watch the fight, you can tell I wasn't hurt. I wasn't knocked down. Why would he stop the fight? But it's boxing, man.
Yeah,
again, like I said, it's a dirty game.
That's another fight I had you winning as well before the stoppage.
Yeah, I was winning the fight. Yeah, I was winning the fight. They stopped the fight. Why would they stop the fight? It's crazy, but it's boxing.
Yes, and it was like, and it was for a light heavyweight world championship. That would have made you a 2-time world champion. It was like a big opportunity for
Of
you.
course, I mean, I was trying to get a fight. I was trying to get another fight with Roy Jones. So I felt if I beat Michalczewski, and then I'll get that shot. But because Roy told me, he said after he saw my fight, he said Roy Jones and James Toney was like, man, I'm sorry, I feel sorry for you. It's a shame what they did to you, but it's boxing, man. It's life. You know what I'm saying? I done came up short like my lifetime.
Yeah, and fighting overseas can be tough with judges and stuff. Sometimes like rounds can go a bit longer. Sometimes certain knockdowns are counted or not counted. It's a very tough game. So
it's so hard. It's so not to cut you off, but it's so hard to go overseas and win. That when fighters come over here and win, and get cheated, people don't even feel bad because so many people went overseas and got cheated.
Yeah. And sorry. So after retiring in 2008, why did you decide to make a comeback in 2010?
Wait a minute. Let me see. I come back. What you mean come back? I never retired. I never retired. I probably only fought like once. I think I was fighting like once a year. I started working. I started working in 2008. So I only fought like once or twice. I probably only fought once a year, but when I fought in 2011, my last fight. And I actually looked real good, and people told me to come back and fight some more, but I never got an offer again. I never got a good offer. So I never
Oh,
really retired. I just didn't fight again.
oh, sorry
But yeah,
about
I
that.
never retired. Yeah. No, it's all good. I probably fought like maybe once a year for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I read somewhere it said you retired in 2008, but it didn't. But when I looked at like
No,
Boxrec, it didn't look like that. Yeah.
no, I never retired.
Do you have any regrets in your career?
Fighting a rematch with Roy Jones, fighting that second fight with Roy Jones, that's probably the biggest thing I regret now because the way it played out. So yeah, that hurt me bad. The way I lost that fight, I got to live with that. I know I got a chin, I can take a punch. I got knocked out in the first round. It's crazy.
Yeah. And if you and you had the experience before as well, so like if a third fight happened or you had a chance to redo the rematch, it would probably look a lot different than what played out.
I wish it could have happened, but it didn't work out for me.
You were a bit of a small light heavyweight at 5'7". How much of an impact do you think your height played in your boxing style?
I really couldn't tell you because I don't know how I feel to be 5'10", 5'11". I'm 5'7". That's what I fought. So I just try to do the best I can do at that height.
Who was the hardest puncher you ever fought?
Ray Latham, the kid from St. Louis. It was my 14th fight. I fought him in the Budweiser Championship at the Forum. He was 14 over 13 knockouts. He's the hardest puncher who's ever hit me to this day. I sparred world champions. I sparred heavyweight champs. I done sparred everybody. Ray Latham is the hardest puncher I've ever felt in my life. He knocked down Holyfield in sparring. So just to let you know how strong he was.
So what was the toughest fight of your career?
Tough as maybe I guess you could say maybe the first James Toney fight because I didn't have that much experience. Only had 14 fights, and I didn't carry out my plan like I should have. That's how I ended up getting hurt in the third or fourth round. Yeah. So I mean, I was in distance with a legend with only 14 fights, and I won every round on all three judges' scorecards, the last 3 rounds. So I guess you could say that was my toughest fight.
And like you said, it's crazy you did that with just 14 fights before that. That's like, and a lot of it wasn't televised. So
it's nuts, bro. I had 30 amateur fights when I made the Olympic team, and I beat James Toney with 14 pro fights. I did all that in just 4 years. That's unheard of. Nobody ever did that.
Nobody. That's one of the greatest then like victories then for like one of the greatest upsets.
I mean, I think so. But only 14 pro fights. I don't know what to say. He was a 2-time world champ, and he was the number 1 pound for pound fighter 3 months before I fought him.
That's a very underrated upset. Like a lot of people, like obviously when people think upsets, Douglas and Tyson's like one of the main ones you think of. But like you coming with like just 14 fights and beating one of the one of the top fighters, the pound for pound fighter, James Toney, with just 14 fights. Like you said, like 44 fights in total. That's something out of.
Yeah, I think it gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah. Well, what is your favorite moment from your career?
Like I said, making an Olympic team. As far as the pros, I think beating James Toney second time was probably the biggest win of my career because people say it was a fluke. I wasn't really good enough. I really didn't win the first fight, and I beat him again. So they what could they say after that?
Yeah. Out of all the if you could fight any fighter from any era, who would that be? Like, let's pretend divisions don't matter here.
I wanted to fight Tommy Hearns and Burger Hill.
great fighters.
I always wanted them on. Yeah, of course. I always wanted them on my resume.
Were you ever offered like a fight with
Me and
Virgil?
Mike
Because you were like fighting in the same
he was
era.
right before he was right before me. He ended up fighting Roy later on in his career, but he wasn't at his best. And I guess he retired after Roy, but I would have loved to fight. Well, he was hot, In '97 when I fought Roy, he was world champ, so it was a chance we could have fought. And Tommy Hearns, I was supposed to fight him. The winner of the Roy Jones fight was supposed to fight Tommy Hearns, but since it was disqualification, they made us fight a rematch. But I would have loved to have Tommy Hearns' name on my resume.
And Tommy, of course, never fought Roy. Do you know if like the fight collapsed or something, Jeff, or like the deals fall through, or?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't even remember. I know Tommy ended up going up to cruiserweight, but me and Roy never ended up fighting Tommy. But that was one fight that I wanted, the one name that I wanted on my resume.
That would be a crazy fight. Like, obviously, Tommy's like one of the best fighters, and he fought, of course, legends like Sugar Ray. Like, he would have been like a part of he would have been a part of your resume, and you would have been part of his, and that would have been like a very big fight.
Yeah, that was a big fight for me. Like I said, he was a legend. I wanted him on my resume, but I don't think with his legs and that right hand, he wasn't hitting me with no right hand. So I don't think he would have beaten me.
Yeah.
I wish I had the opportunity.
So if you could like give any advice to your younger self, let's say when you were 26, what would that advice be?
The number one thing was not gaining weight in between fights. I was making money. I was comfortable. Everything was good. I was relying on my skills too much, so I would gain 30 pounds and had to kill myself. So I would tell my younger self not to put the weight on, stay in the gym, and not take the rematch with Roy Jones because I didn't need him. He needed me at that time. So I ended up losing the rematch. So I had to fight that. I regret doing it at the time. I could have did a little bit different.
After the Roy fight, like you must have got a lot of opportunities. Like you mentioned, Tommy Hearns one. Were there any other like big opportunities that were coming to you as well?
I got a fight with Cal Zaggy, but I think it was like a 72. It was like a catch weight. I couldn't make it, so I didn't take the fight.
That would have been another good fight. It would have been over in the U.S. or would have you went overseas?
Yeah, probably in Europe. Yeah, over where he was from. Like I said, they offered me to fight. They offered to fight me at a catch weight, but I couldn't make it.
Okay. And do you have a favorite current fighter?
Canelo was my favorite fighter. He's been my favorite fighter for like the last 5-6 years, but it seems like he's slowing down a little bit. He's not throwing enough punches like he needs to. So I want to see what happens with this Charlo fight. But yeah, Canelo, he's been my favorite fighter the last 4-5 years.
Yeah. When he moved up in weight and fought Bivol, I think that was just a bit of a bridge too high for him. Bivol's obviously a very good fighter, but like all that weight.
Bivol was just too big. Yeah, too big for him, and the wrong style. Bivol is a boxer. He gives Canelo problems all the time. So yeah, he was too big for him.
How do you think a fight between you and Canelo?
And the thing about it is, at 175, Canelo is slick, but I'm slicker than him. At 175, nothing he can do to me.
Yeah, and he's already had trouble at that weight. So like, I mean, and you'd obviously oppose way more problems than Bivol too.
Yeah. He can box, but I'm a better boxer. I'm a little more slicker than him, so it'll give him problems.
It would have been it'd be a good fight though. So is there anything you'd like to promote or anything you're doing?
Well, I got a book out about my life. It's called The Ice Life, and the link is theicelifebook.com. Theicelifebook.com is the link. It's I got a book about my life. It came out 3 years ago. I'm not the greatest fighter ever. I don't have the best life ever. It's just a story about a kid who made a second chance for himself and was successful. I think it's a great read. It's the Ice Life, and the link is theicelifebook.com.
I'll link that in the description of the video, so people can find the link to the
theicelifebook.com
in the description. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much. I take it down. Respect.
I've operated this YouTube channel for more than 3 years. I don't ask for any compensation, but you could help me support a cause I strongly believe in. A Better Future for All is a non-profit organization that assists Ukrainians fleeing the unprovoked Russian invasion of their homeland. A Better Future has provided material support, but just as importantly, helped Ukrainians find places to live and jobs to support themselves. They are continuing to do this, but can't do it alone. A Better Future is asking for any financial contributions you can make. No donation is too small, and no donation is too large. Use the link below to donate. Please know that your generosity is being put to good use, and you are making a difference for the better in the lives of people who desperately need it. Thank you.